Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We from Group 4, we would like to present two MFRS. First, MFRS 8, Operating Segment. Second, MFRS 134, Interim Financial Report. We choose two company. First is Maybank Berhad. Second is PPB Group Berhad. Before we go further, let me introduce myself, which is my name is Muhammad Nasrullah bin Sukimi. My student ID is 2025509717.
My name is Far'ain Amira binti Ramli and my student number is 2025370425.
My name is Muhammad Adam Irfan bin Zailani. My student ID is 2025769801.
My name is Muhammad Firdaus bin Asullah. My student ID is 2025542955.
My name is Muhammad Anas bin Jamaluddin. My ID student is 2025160209.
FAR570 Operating Segment, introduced by Malaysian Accounting Standard Board in 2009. It requires a company to disclose the information about different parts of business and called operating segment. It applies to specific types of companies, which is whose equity or debt securities are public traded or in the process issuing securities to the public. And lastly, who voluntarily providing segmental information. An operating segment is a component of an entity that engage in business activity from which it earns revenue or incur expenses, including inter-segment transaction. Second, whose activities are regularly reviewed by the chief operating decision maker to resource allocation and assessing performance. And lastly, for which discrete financial information is available. What is chief operating decision maker? Yes, the CODM is a function, not necessarily is a person, responsible for allocating resources and assessing segment performance. It may vary by entity, such as the CEO, COO, senior management, or board. And the title is irrelevant as long as they make key strategic decision about the segment. Let me see CODM in Maybank Berhad. Datuk Sri Khairul Saleh Ramli, the Group Chief Executive Officer, CEO together with the Group Executive Commits, act as the CODM. They are responsible for review segment performance and decide on strategy, budgeting and resource allocation across segment in consumer and community banking and Islamic and regional banking. For the PPB Group Berhad, Lim Sun Huat, Group Managing Director, act as CODM. The CODM of PPB Group Berhad is responsible for allocating resources among the business segment, assessing and monitoring each segment's performance, approving budgets and strategic plans, and making decisions on new investment or divestment.
Next, I will explain for the type of segmental report used by PBB Group Berhad in financial report. For the first one is by business segment. For business segment, reporting the company is organized into business units according to their nature of the business. For PBB Group Berhad, there are 5 reportable business segments, which are the first one is consumer product such as manufacturing and distribution of frozen food and bakery product. Second, grains and agribusiness such as oil palm plantations. The third one is film exhibitions. The fourth one, property, and lastly, other operation. As we can see in the snippet for business segment of PBB Group Berhad, the grain and agribusiness contributes the most total revenue, which is RM4,060,069 ringgit. Consumer product contribute RM790,493 ringgit. Film exhibition and distribution contribute 58,756 ringgit. Property RM53,010 ringgit. And the last one is other operation, which contribute the least amounting RM13,736 ringgit. Next, segment capital expenditure. Segment capital expenditure is the total cost incurred during the financial year to acquire property, plant and equipment, investment properties, intangible assets, and burial plants. As we can see in the snippet, the capital expenditure for grain and agribusiness is the most, which is 55,830, while the least is from property, which is amounting 2,208. The last type of segmental report is the geographical segment reporting. Under MFRS 8, Geographical segment refer to disclosure requirement for entities' revenue and non-current asset by geographical area, including the country of domicile and foreign countries. For PBB Group Berhad, the geographical operation is at Malaysia, Indonesia, Vietnam, and other Asian countries.
Next, I will explain about the benefit of segmental reporting. The first benefit is enhanced decision making. By providing detailed financial and operational information for each business segment, management can identify which areas are performing well and allocate resources more effectively. It also helps detect underperforming segments that may need restructuring or strategic adjustments. In short, this kind of detailed reporting helps management make smarter and faster decisions. The second benefit is improved transparency. Segmental reporting shows the company's assets, liabilities, and capital expenditure by segment, giving stakeholders a clear picture of where resources are being used and how each segment contributes to overall performance. This transparency builds trust and confidence among investors and other stakeholders. This is a snippet of segmental reporting of PPB Group Berhad in 2023 and 2024 financial year. So, as we can see, there are 5 segments and the management can see whether a segment is performing or underperforming based on the report. For example, the grain and agribusiness remains the largest contributor with a revenue of about 4.36 billion in 2023 and 4.06 billion in 2024. Even though there's a decrease, it still dominates the group's overall performance. This bar chart is an example of how we can determine whether the segment is underperforming or not.
Now, I will explain about interim financial reporting under MFRS 134. So, in MFRS 134, it is one of the reform initiatives that aim to improve company transparency and build investor trust in the capital market. It also requires listed company to prepare financial report quarterly or half-yearly as required by Bursa Malaysia. So, the report must include the statement of financial positions, profit or loss, cash flow, and explanatory notes. And it also requires disclosure of significant events and transactions that affect the company's financial position, such as changes in accounting policies, impairment of revaluation of subsidiaries, or acquisition and dispose of assets. Next, for the first significant event is by issuance and redemption of Tier 2 subordinated Sukuk Murabahah. During the first quarter ended 31st March 2024, Maybank issued 3 billion Tier 2 subordinated Sukuk Murabahah under its 30 billion Sukuk programs. At the same time, the bank fully redeemed 2 billion of its older Tier 2 subordinated Sukuk on its first call date. The first financial impact is this will increase Maybank long-term liability and strengthen its Tier 2 capital base under Basel III. Second, it also supports Maybank overall capital adequacy ratio and improve its funding structure by replacing older, high-cost sukuk with new issuance. For the references, according to MFRS 134, paragraph 15, subsection B, the issuance of redemption of debt securities after the end of the last annual reporting period is considered a significant event that must be disclosed in the interim financial report.
Second significant event is declaration and payment of second interim dividend on 28 February 2024. Maybank declared a single-tier second interim cash dividend of 31 cents per share, amounting to 3.74 billion ringgit, which was paid on 26 March 2024. For the financial impact, this reduced retained earnings and total shareholder equity by 3.74 billion ringgit. It also demonstrates Maybank's strong financial performance and profitability, although it slightly lowered the group's common equity tier 1, subsection CET1 capital ratio from 16.19% in December 2023 to 14.87% in March 2024. This reference from under MFRS 134, paragraph 15, subsection A, dividend declared after the reporting date are also considered significant event that must be disclosed in the interim financial statement. In conclusion, MFRS 134 ensure that listed companies like Maybank report significant event and transaction clearly and promptly. This help maintain transparency and provide investor with confidence and accurate financial information. Next is period for current and comparative interim. For income statement, the current interim report starts from 1st January 2024 until 31st March 2024. And then for comparative interim report starts from 1st January 2023 until 31st March 2023. This is the income statement from interim financial report first quarter. There is bar chart consists net operating income, net interest income, Islamic banking income and other operating income. Second, statement of financial position. For current interim report as at 31st March 2024 and for comparative interim report as at 31st December 2023. This is the statement of financial position from interim financial report first quarter. There is the pie chart consists total asset, equity and total liability. Statement of financial in equity. For current interim report ended 31st March 2024 and for comparative interim report ended 31st March 2023. This is statement of changes in equity from interim financial report first statement of cash flow. For current interim report ended 31st March 2024 and for comparative interim report ended 31st March 2023. This is statement of cash flow from interim financial report first quarter.